Okay, so if you haven't been able to tell by just the title and intro alone, the big secret we've been keeping...
We are starting a morning show. Okay, a once weekly morning show.
Yeah,
I don't have that many mornings available in my life.
Yeah, so it's once a week, Monday mornings. You are going to want to be here because every week on Monday from now until December, this is going to be season 1. We'll run October 8th through December 17th. Every Monday morning, you will meet us back here. We will have a cup of coffee. We're going to get your week started off right.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It's like girl time, mom time, friend time.
Coffee time.
Coffee time, which is probably the most important part of it.
It is the most important.
You can just go ahead and hit pause if you want to.
Grab your coffee.
Go get
Come on back.
Right. We'll be right here. Just
not
hit
going
pause.
anywhere.
We're right here.
We'll wait.
Do you have your coffee? Great.
Okay.
Okay. So let us explain to you sort of what this show is. It's a fun show.
Not scripted.
It's not scripted. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things.
Well, some motherhood stuff, but not strictly motherhood.
Yeah. Mom stuff, woman stuff, lady stuff. So you don't have to be a mom to watch and enjoy this show, although we will have motherhood related topics for sure. We're going to talk about like self-care, social media, how to get pregnant.
We're going to talk about periods and, you know, the fact that vagina, it's not a dirty word.
I watched someone the other day and they don't call it vagina, they call it a vagine.
A vagine?
A vagine. Which I think is kind of funny because it makes it sound a lot more attractive than it is. But today's episode, what we are diving in today is talking about family size, both of our choices to have a big family, the good, the bad, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, it's very conversational. So that's sort of the premise of the show. We just wanted to take a minute. Every episode, we won't obviously need to go into this long of an explanation, but we just wanted to make sure you guys knew what the show was about. Be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss an episode. Turn on notifications. You guys know I don't normally ask you to do that, but if you don't want to miss...
kind of being real cranky about that right now. I don't know what the deal is.
You're being real nasty. Nasty Nellies. You know, nasty Nellies about it. So turn on notifications if you don't want to miss an episode. And of course, you can follow us both on Instagram. I will leave our Instagram handles on the screen here so you can find us. She's Joyful Chaos Mama. And I am This Gathered Nest. So you can find us both on social media.
And there's another really important thing you can do. And that is if you enjoy the sister show, share it.
Yes.
Share it with your friends.
Sharing is caring. We learned that in the first grade. If you feel like, what's the sign for share? Isn't it like this?
I can't
Something
remember.
like that. Share. Share with your friends. Share on Facebook. Share if you enjoy this and you think you have mom friends or just other friends, lady friends who would enjoy it too. Right. Help us sort of spread
the word.
Yeah.
Spread the love. Spread the joy.
We need the help because YouTube is just being kind of...
There's not really a nice word. So
I know.
We don't swear. So
we're going to try not to swear. If I do, I'll bleep it out.
YouTube's not.
The reality is, if either one of us
being real friendly
swear,
right now,
it's going to be me.
It's going to be you. Yeah.
Although yesterday you were totally swearing way more than I was.
Was I? It might have been because this woman had me running all over hell and half of Georgia.
If you guys have been following me on social media or our channel, you know how we've been working on this building sort of this set out in our shed so that we had a place to film these where we didn't have children running in. We could just come out here, set everything up, and it would always be here. It would always be clean. We wouldn't have to like shove toys in the corner so we could make a clean spot to film in where it looks like we have our lives together.
Oasis.
Yeah.
A little oasis.
Just a little bit of an oasis.
But we installed all that yesterday. This pregnant body hurts a little bit, so, you know, there might have been.
I basically told her, like, I'm super glad that we did that while she was pregnant and not me, because I was a miserable cow when I was pregnant. So at least she, like, tolerated it and was like, let's go to another store. I would have been laid up in the car with my feet up in the air. Like, I can't do it anymore. I don't care. Let's just film it naked. I don't even care. I don't care.
We'll just stand in the corner.
I wouldn't have cared. Yeah. I really wouldn't have. I'd like to start out every episode with just a little catch up about your week, how it's been going.
Sure.
We're starting a new week. Anything exciting going on in your life that you want to share with us? Because the people have been missing you.
Maybe.
You've been MIA, and I feel like we've got to address that just like quickly.
Well, okay. We'll talk about that more actually in episode 2.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
But really, it's just been a, you know, nothing bad. Just focusing on my family and needing a break from the social media stuff. Otherwise, you know, almost 29 weeks pregnant.
I mean,
29 weeks pregnant today, Monday.
I've been getting tons of messages from people like, where's your sister? Did she have the baby? Where is she? And I'm
Lord,
like,
I hope not.
So I feel like the gatekeeper. People are asking me where you are. I'm like, this is where. She's here. Like, she's fine.
She's alive. She's good.
Fine.
I'm good. I'm good, guys. I'm good. Just, taking a step back.
Yeah.
But I've been really excited about this project and anxious to jump into it. So.
All right. So let's just go ahead and jump right into today's topic, which people are very curious about.
Yeah.
We both have big families. And what's like the number one question? How many more kids are you going to have? Right? Like the number one question.
Are you done yet?
Right. The number one question.
Is this the last one? Is basically like, don't you think you have enough? I feel like that's what it comes across as.
I feel like you have 1 million kids. Isn't that enough?
Isn't that enough?
So I would agree. I think that's like the number one question. And so we're going to sort of tackle that today. Are we done having kids? Mm-hmm. How many kids do we want? And big family chit chat. So, Well, we know you're not done because you've got another one baking.
Right. This is number 7 for me. Mm-hmm. And you have?
I have 7.
7.
And this is from the chips that we ate yesterday. It is not, in fact, a human baby.
Oh my gosh.
It's a chip and caramel chocolate baby.
We may have had a lot of junk food yesterday.
We had so much junk food. I feel sick.
Yeah. Yeah. But to address a question that I've actually gotten a couple of times since we announced our 7th pregnancy. No, I am not trying to catch up or beat my sister in the number of offspring that we have.
Do you know what causes this?
Yes. Yes, we do.
And I love it when people say, I do. We're just really good at it.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. Yeah. That answer doesn't work for me because we're just really good at filling out paperwork. So you're not done having kids?
The answer is probably not. We're probably not done.
Do you have like a number in your mind? Or are you just like, we'll just kind of see where this goes? Or are you like I really feel like I want to get into double digits?
I don't have a goal. I don't have an end goal or like an ideal goal.
I need a full field of soccer.
Right. A full team of something. I'm not sure.
I don't know anything about sports, so I really couldn't even tell you if it was like
we don't
hockey,
do the sports thing.
Football
team?
I don't
you need a lot of people for a football team?
I think there's like 11. Well, you need an offense, a defense, and then you need like a kicker.
So maybe we're going for a football team. I don't know. We do not have a number in mind. One baby at a time. As God leads our family, it's very important to us. Our faith plays a big factor in our family size. We also would really love to adopt in the future. So I see us as being a large family because I don't even consider 6, 7 kids that big. And I think that's...
Well, I think what's crazy is I would agree with you. Not that I don't consider us to have a big family, but when I started getting into the adoption world, and I say that with 100% truth because it is a whole other world.
Right.
It's
like a different dimension.
Yeah,
really.
There were so many families with like a dozen kids, 15 kids, 17. So I was like, I feel like we have like a small family at the time with 3 or 4 kids.
Medium-sized family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that that's not, and that's perspective based.
2 kids is the sort of appropriate amount of children that everyone
it's a societal norm.
Yeah, everyone deems that as acceptable. But I also feel like for people with smaller families, the questions can be just as
invasive
and kind of frustrating as like, well, if you have 2 girls, like, aren't you going to try for a boy?
When are you going to have a sibling? You can't have an only child.
Right.
They'll be spoiled and screwed up for life.
Guys, I was at a mom's group thing one time, and a lady told me that that she has 1 child. That was their choice. They wanted 1 child. And she said that someone once said to her, but what if that child dies?
Oh, my word.
Like, you need a replacement? It's not extra batteries that you're keeping in the closet.
Right?
Like, die. Like,
that's why I have 7. So if something happens to one of them, it's fine.
I've got 6 others. Like, would you say that? People are crazy, you guys. I know you guys are not those people. I'm not even going to tell you, like, don't say that because I know you're not those people. Are you? You're not those people. It's hard because I get it. Like, I know that I am guilty of seeing people who I think, like, are great parents and they have, like, really cute kids or really fun kids.
Through our motherhood.
Right. But I think I see those people and I want to ask them like, oh, are you guys gonna have more kids? Because I think they're so great. And I think they're so great. Such great parents. I think their kids are great. And so I'm like, I want to see more of you in the world. So I know that I am definitely guilty of seeing people and thinking that. I try not to ask it. I'm sure I've made those mistakes before. Like, I'm not here to claim perfection. I'm certain that
I know for a fact that I've asked
people
about their family size choices.
Right. But it's interesting because I don't ask people in front of their children or make comments in front of their children. That's
probably
my
the most
one.
infuriating thing.
Right.
If you ask in front of, I remember people used to say all the time, you know, growing up, it was just the two of us. And then Savannah was born when we were teenagers. Oh, your poor dad.
Yeah.
Because it was so awful having daughters. That really kind of does something to your self-worth.
Right.
When you think that because you don't have a penis, you aren't as valuable to your father.
Right.
So I would really encourage you to make sure to never ask those questions in front of the kids.
Yeah, I think, I just think it's funny the comments that people make and not really think about. So, for example, this last week we took Shelby out to lunch for her birthday. We went to one of those Japanese cook in front of you places, which are like my favorite. And it was Kennedy, Shelby, Rosie, and then 2 friends. So I had 5 little girls and just me. We sat down at the table and we all kind of took our seats around. And then it ended up that the grill they sat us at didn't work, so they had to move us. It wasn't a busy restaurant, but there was one lady. She was in a business suit. She looked very nice, like she was on her lunch break, and she was on her phone, you know, kind of feverishly messaging, texting, emailing, whatever, and they sat us with her. Now, these girls, the 5 girls, were incredibly well-behaved, calm, not acting crazy, not being loud, just carrying on conversations. In fact, Shelby and 2 of the little girls were down at the end of the table talking about their favorite books. Have you read this? Have you read that? Oh, this is such a good book. You need to read this. It was a pleasant conversation. And the woman kept looking at us and smiling. And I thought, this is like a nice little interaction. Well, then a few minutes later, she and I made eye contact. And she said, wow, you really got your hands full, don't you? And the kids were all sitting right there listening. And I just thought, body language tells me that you did not think that these kids were out of line, obnoxious, annoying, that you thought they were pleasant. So why would you, in front of them, I think that people just don't know what else to say, so they say the same things they've heard a million times.
Over and over and over.
Because that didn't even make sense in that scenario.
Context of the situation.
Yeah, for her to say that. And I kind of
instead of saying, what great kids.
Right. Like, why not just say, like, these are a bunch of sweet little girls. Like, why? I mean, and the girls kind of looked at me, and all I could think was, like, what message is that sending to our kids? That you are a burden. You are a burden to your parents.
You are a burden to the people around you.
Right. Just your presence is a burden. And I find that narrative very, very bothersome because I just don't like the message that it sends to our kids that somehow
they are less than because they're 4 feet tall.
Right, or because there's more than a couple of them. Yeah. I try to think of a scenario where I'm like, okay, let's say, for instance, you're very svelte and thin, and your husband is very overweight, and someone came up to you and said, you must be a great cook, right in front of your husband. Like, wouldn't your husband be like, jerk? Rude? Like, that's so rude. I try to think of other scenarios where I'm like, you would never say that. Like, you would never comment on something that would make another adult feel bad. Like, I don't know. Well,
you might if you weren't a nice person.
Well, but I mean, like normal humans. This woman seemed like a normal human being, a very nice person. She didn't, and what do I know? She just looked nice. But you just wouldn't say that, like, go up to a guy and be like, well, you really outpunted your coverage with this one. Like, she's way better looking than you. Like, would you say that to us? No. And so why do we do that to children? Like, why do we make them feel less than?
Burdensome, inferior. I mean, really, truly, it's a whole nother conversation, our society's view on children.
Right. The value that we place on.
Or the value that we don't place on children as a society.
Right. Really, I mean, much of society views them as a burden.
Right.
That brings me up to another funny story. Can I tell it real quick?
Yeah.
Do we have time? This was when I only had 4 kids. Only 4 kids. We took our family pictures. It was freezing cold. Then we went over to Walmart to get groceries. And CR had all the kids in a cart. They were like toppling out of it, all stuffed into it. And I was over in like the egg section getting something. There was another family 1 aisle over. The kid was crying. This old man walks up to me and he hears the kid crying and I'm standing there by myself and he says, this world is already overpopulated. I didn't have kids. Like, I don't know what is wrong with people. Like, listen to that. We are overpopulated. And I was like, and then like literally before I could even squeak out a word, here comes CR like rolling down the thing, riding on the cart with all these kids like toppling out like, whee! And I'm like, have a nice day. And I walked off with our cart full of kids and the guy's face was just like...
How was he older?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably born in like the 60s.
That's really interesting because actually my most positive interactions with people with my larger family are with those of an older generation.
Yeah, I don't know. No, this guy was definitely like, oh, the world is overpopulated. Off with their heads.
Yeah, just get rid of him. We don't need him. Are you done? Are you done having children, Angela? Will you have any more children through, well, whether through embryo adoption or whatever?
There's no more children coming out of here. This is all, we're closed.
Closed for business.
And I say that jokingly, but it definitely makes me sad. Y'all, if I didn't have the problems with hyperemesis and secondary infertility and all those issues, I would probably definitely have more children through the human vessel, the vagine. They would come through the vagine.
That's my new favorite word, vagine.
I think it's Cat and Nat. I think it's Cat and Nat who say vagine. What is it? Oprah always calls it the vajayjay. Is that what she called it?
I don't really like that word.
I don't like that one either.
That's okay.
We need to think of one because it's just so abrasive to be like vagina.
I am not offended by the word. Would you prefer vulva?
Ooh, no.
No? Mm-mm. No, you don't like
okay,
vulva?
We'll go back to vagina. In this instance, let's just call it a birth canal.
Birth canal.
No more children coming out of the birth canal. For me. But adoption is definitely still on the table. And what's funny is that my husband...
Oh, this is great. Guys, she's full of good stories today. I think I know what story she's going to tell.
He says to me the other night, watching the babies, they're just so precious. I love them so much. They're so great. I love having them. It's so fun to have babies again. I think we're going to do this again.
Did you call out?
You could have knocked me over with a feather. I was like, what? Because he loves all of our children, but I have driven that boat into the harbor every time with like dragging him behind me. Like he's on board.
He was skiing and then he just fell off and you just kind of bounced him along behind.
Right. I just I brought him in with me and he's always, good. Like once we're in it, he's in it. But he's never been the one to initiate.
To suggest or say that.
Yeah. To say like that we should have any more children.
Ever. But why is this? But you have 7 kids, right?
So he says, I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this because some of you guys are going to roll your eyes so hard you're going to give yourself a migraine. He was like, you know what my number was? He's a sports guy, okay? Sports guys are weird. They don't wash their panties. They put dead animal feet in their pockets. They rub things. They rub each other. They smack each other. Sports guys are weird.
And sports guys have numbers.
And yes, numbers are very important to them. And so his baseball number in high school was number 8.
Wasn't that also his number in college?
I don't remember. It was 3 or 8. Either way, at some point in his baseball career, his number was 8. And it was very important to him. It's always been his favorite number. And so he was kind of like, we probably should have 8 kids. And I was like, well, if that's what we're using.
Our barometer.
Our barometer is, what's your favorite number? Because mine is 10. What if I said my favorite number was 30?
I just thought that was kind of adorable.
It was very sweet and kind of one of those things that before anybody like runs out and is like, this guy Ness is having another baby, they're adopting again. Like, let me just be super clear that there's no plans in motion at this point. We are very much enjoying the twins being babies, but we also know that the adoption process.
This is a conversation for the.
It's a conversation where it's a current conversation because we know that adoption processes take a long time. And especially if we decided to do like a domestic infant adoption,
that route takes
time and longer, we do already have 7 children. So, we may have to wait a while for a birth mom to be like, yeah, I want my kid to go to a big family. Not everybody does. So, So we need to have some patience in that. So all that to say, I do foresee us adopting again, which is not something that I probably would have said. And if you go back and watch previous videos, I very likely did say, and I know that I did say for a long time that we were done. But I think that's the beautiful thing of like not being afraid to change your mind and not being afraid to say like, you know what, this is what I wanted then and this is what I want now. And for me, it was very affirming that my husband felt that way because I was definitely a place where I'm not going to drag him in on, because I work so much more now than I used to when we were adding kids to our family. So I definitely didn't want to be like, let's have another kid and here you go. Like, I got to go off and do some things, so you're going to take care of them. Like, it needs to be, our house is very collaborative. It is very 50-50 in our house as far as care and things like that. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd be able to have a big family.
I don't think so either.
Because when people say, like, when people leave comments and say things like, I don't know how you do all that. Like, I don't know how you, don't you feel like saying, like, I don't. I want to say that because if you are feeling, I never want a woman to feel like, well, I don't know how she does all that and I can't do that. If if you don't have a spouse that is being literally 50-50 in all of it with you, then, please don't expect that.
Look, I know some strong women who have big families and do it basically on their own.
Right.
But I know that I couldn't. I'm not the one who gets up and makes breakfast for everyone every morning. You know, I'm not the one who does the dishes and loads and unloads the dishwasher. Like, those little things, you know, taking the girls to dance class. Pete takes them, I take them. You know, it's a partnership. And I definitely could not do it as well as I feel like I'm able to without his.
Okay, so every week we are going to pick a commenter of the week. So leave your feedback, questions, comments about today's episode down below in the description. Nope, not in the description box.
No, that's our job.
In the comment section. That's where you need to leave your comments.
In the comments section.
And we're going to pick a commenter of the week every week and share
your comment.
Okay, so, but because this is the first episode, we're going to pull from Instagram, from when we've been sort of teasing and sharing about this coming up. So the comment of the week goes to Louisa Vaz. It says, not even sure what that's going to be, but I'm so pumped.
We are too.
We're super pumped, Louisa. We're very excited to be doing this.
And we are excited that you guys are excited.
Yeah. You guys have been asking for a long time for us to do something together.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to be really fun, and I'm excited to keep talking about all these different things.
Yes, for sure.
That's the other thing we need from you guys. We need a few things. We need you to leave topics down below in the comments. What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of ideas, but we want to hear from you guys. What do you want us to talk about? Give us your feedback. Give us your thoughts so that we can, use that as we formulate future episodes, as well as give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. Turn the notifications so you don't miss it. And be back here every Monday. This show will go up every single Monday morning at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Eastern time.
So, you know where to be. You know where to find us.
We will be
every Monday morning from now until December. That's when season 1 is going to run through.
December 17th.
Yes. Then she's going to have to
I'm going to have a baby.
But then we're going to have a baby in the show. For a little bit while she'll tolerate being just held for the conversation.
I'll have to bring we'll have to grab one of the girls' rocking plays. She can hang out over here with us.
Yeah. It'll be super fun. Okay, so don't forget, guys, if you're enjoying this and you're excited for it, please help us by sharing, tweeting.
Spread the word.
Post it on Facebook. Call your mama. I don't know. I mean, maybe don't call your mom. She probably doesn't want to hear us talk about vagines and vajayjays. But
call your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Because they probably want to hear us talk about vagines and vajayjays.
Who doesn't, right? Everybody loves that kind of talk. I know, it's so funny because I feel like that's like a bad, we shouldn't talk about that. That's like, but it's not a bad word.
Vagina is not a dirty word.
It's not a dirty word.
It's not a dirty word. And guess what? Neither is big family.
Oh.
Not a dirty word.
I have a big family. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We will see you guys
next Monday.
Bye. Bye.